All right, team. I think it is time to get started.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jane. Hello, and welcome to the 2025 UpRize Social Innovation virtual kickoff. I'm pleased to be here to represent BNY, and we collaborate with Innovation Works to deliver this program in the region. For those unfamiliar with BNY, we are a global financial services company that oversees more than 53 trillion in assets for our clients, which includes over 90% of the Fortune 500 companies and nearly all of the top 100 banks globally. As a longstanding pillar of the city of Pittsburgh, BNY is invested in advancing innovation and growth for our region and committed to giving back to the communities we serve. So we are excited to support Uprise once again now in its eighth year. So, since its founding in 2015, the Uprise Social Innovation Challenge has allocated more than 3.4 million in investments, grants, and educational assistance to nonprofits, entrepreneurs, and other participants. I've had the privilege of being involved with Uprise for the past several years, and this is one of my programs to be involved with and support and bring to the region. For those applying, I wish you all the best, and I'm looking forward to all the innovative solutions that you guys are working on. To learn more about the competition, I will now pass it over to Joyce.
Thank you, Courtney, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joyce Howard, the Business Development Manager at Innovation Works, and I'm thrilled to share the exciting details of this year's BNY UpPrize Social Innovation Challenge. For those of you who may be new to Innovation Works, I'd like to provide some context about our organization. IW stands as one of the most active early stage investors in the country and the most active in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We support entrepreneurs across diverse sectors, including software, hardware, and life sciences. And we're proud to be a part of the statewide Ben Franklin Technology Partners Network. This network ensures that tech entrepreneurs in southwestern Pennsylvania have access to the essential resources, funding, and expertise needed to grow and thrive. Our mission is focused on diversifying our economy and strengthening our communities by supporting high potential startups that create family sustaining jobs, deliver meaningful innovations, and fuel long term economic resilience throughout the state. The BNY Social Innovation Challenge represents a natural extension of that mission. In collaboration with BNY, this initiative shines a spotlight on mission-driven entrepreneurs working at the intersection of innovation and social impact. It provides them with visibility, support, and opportunities that might otherwise be unavailable through traditional funding mechanisms. At IW, we actively encourage many of our portfolio companies and community partners to apply for Uprise because we understand that the challenge functions as more than just a competition. It's a catalyst. It helps founders validate their ideas, connect with advisors and peers, and build momentum towards sustainable growth. Now, let's dive right into what makes Uprise 2025 so special. This year, we're continuing our mission to discover and nurture innovative ventures that address critical challenges facing Southwestern Pennsylvania's communities. We've identified several focus areas where we believe innovation can make the most meaningful impact. These include, but definitely are not limited to, clean energy solutions to address climate change locally, initiatives advancing racial equity and social justice, technologies and programs improving educational accessibility, innovative approaches to housing affordability, healthcare accessibility solutions, food security systems for vulnerable communities, financial inclusion tools for economic opportunity, and solutions bridging the digital divide. What's exciting about these focus areas is that they represent countless opportunities where your innovative thinking can directly improve lives in our region. We're looking for fresh perspectives and bold approaches that challenge the status quo. Now, let's talk about who can apply. Our application cycle is officially open as of today, and we're looking for innovators who meet these straightforward criteria. First, you must be at least 18 years old. Second, your venture must be based in one of our 10 eligible the southwestern Pennsylvania counties. That includes Allegheny, Armstrong, Beaver, Butler, Fayette, Greene, Indiana, Lawrence, Washington, or Westmoreland counties. Your proposed solution should also create meaningful impact within these counties. Third, to ensure we're supporting new participants, you cannot have received funding of $50,000 or more from previous UpPrize cycles. Additionally, your participation shouldn't violate any employer policies or third-party rights, and you can't have employment or family ties to BNY or Innovation Works. We've intentionally kept these requirements accessible because we want to hear from a diverse range of innovators across our region. Whether you're running a nonprofit, leading a startup, or simply have a brilliant idea you're developing, we want to hear from you. I'm excited to announce what we believe is a game-changing innovation for this year's challenge. For 2025, we've introduced a two-track structure that better recognizes that social innovation happens along a spectrum. The early stage track is designed for those of you with promising ideas that show potential but need support for validation and development. Maybe you've identified a compelling problem and have a proposed solution, but you need resources to develop your concept further. This track is for you. The advanced stage track is for established ventures that have already demonstrated proof of concept and are now ready to scale their impact. If you have a functioning product or service with some early traction and a clear strategy for growth, this track will provide the resources to help you expand your reach. The dual track approach allows us to meet entrepreneurs wherever they are in their journey and provide the right kind of support at the right time. We recognize that a one size fits all approach doesn't work when nurturing innovation, and we're excited to see how this new structure helps accelerate impact across our region. Let me walk you through some key dates to have on your radar. We've designed a timeline that balances giving you enough time to develop strong applications while moving efficiently towards implementation. So the applications are now open. One date I particularly like to highlight is June 6th. That's when we'll host the UpRise Boot Camp at Nova Place. This full day event is specifically designed to help anyone considering an application. Our entrepreneurial services team at IW and industry experts will lead sessions on defining your value proposition, articulating your social impact, financial modeling, and crafting a compelling application. I highly recommend attending if you can. Applications close on June 26th at 11:59 p.m., just less than 6 weeks from today. During this application period, we'll be hosting weekly office hours where you can book one-on-one sessions to get personalized guidance. Think of these as your opportunity to get direct feedback before submitting. Then, on July 17th, we'll hold our semifinal event where we'll announce which 10 ventures, 5 from each track, are moving forward to the next phase. So let's talk about the comprehensive support our semifinalists will receive. This is where UpRise really distinguishes itself from other funding opportunities. From August through September, semifinalists will participate in a series of advanced boot camps. These aren't just generic workshops, they're focused sessions covering essential skills like financial modeling, impact measurement, market strategy, team building, and pitch preparation. In September, BNY will host dedicated pitch practice sessions where the semifinalists will receive expert feedback to refine your presentation. Later that month, semifinalists will present their final pitches to our distinguished panel of judges who bring diverse expertise and perspectives. And in October, we'll celebrate everyone at our final showcase event where winners will be announced. This event is also a fantastic networking opportunity to connect with potential partners, funders, and supporters. What I love about this process is that it provides value beyond just the funding. Even if you don't ultimately win, you develop skills, refine your venture, and make connections that will benefit you long term. Now for the exciting part, the prizes. Our finalists will compete for significant non-dilutive funding totaling $325,000. Excuse me. Here's how it breaks down. In the early stage track, first place receives $75,000 and second place receives $50,000. In the advanced stage track, first place receives $125,000 and second place receives $75,000. We've structured these awards to provide meaningful capital that can truly move the needle for ventures at different stages. And importantly, this is non-dilutive funding, meaning you maintain full ownership and control of your venture while receiving the financial support needed to advance your mission. What happens after the showcase? This is where Uprise also differentiates itself. The journey doesn't end with the awards. All finalists will join our Uprise Masterclass series beginning in January 26th. This 6-month program focuses on customer discovery, business growth strategy, and impact scaling methodologies. Participants will gain access to IW's extensive network of resources, events, and ongoing technical assistance. This includes connections to potential investors, customers, and partners, as well as opportunities for media exposure and community engagement. We're committed to supporting you beyond just the initial funding because we understand that creating lasting impact requires sustained effort and support. So, where do we go from here? I invite everyone with an innovative solution addressing critical challenges in our region to apply, whether you have an early stage idea or an established venture ready to scale. Uprise offers a unique opportunity to accelerate your impact. Applications are open now through June 26th at www.uprise.org. On our website, you'll find detailed guidelines, frequently asked questions and answers, and examples of successful past applications. I encourage you to reach out with questions during our office hours, attend the boot camp on June 6th, and connect with our team throughout the process. We're here to support you on this journey. Together, we can create innovative solutions for a brighter future in Southwestern Pennsylvania. So let's collaborate to turn promising ideas into reality and shape a better tomorrow for all communities. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'm excited to see your applications and the innovative solutions you bring forward. So, Jane, do we have some questions in our chat today? Opening it up to the floor.
Sure, we had a question about the geographic region for eligibility and why it is limited to specific counties.
Well, as an organization, IW's focus is the Southwestern Pennsylvania region. And those 9 counties, the 10 counties under which we work and are chartered to support are our area of impact. And that also aligns with the interest and mission of BNY. The southwestern region of Pennsylvania is also the origination of where IW and BNY both started Uprise. So that's where that work is going to be limited to.
Awesome. And then the next one, it looks like this one's for you, Erin, to be what topics will be covered in the boot camp sessions and how have past participants benefited from that?
Thanks, Jane, and hi, everyone. My name is Aaron Tainter. I'm the Director of Accelerator Programs at Innovation Works and run our Alpha Lab suite of accelerator programs. To answer that question, the June 6th boot camp at Nova Place, Ally 26, will cover several key areas for social entrepreneurs, including defining and articulating your social impact model, developing sustainable business models for social enterprises. We'll focus on user-centered design principles for social innovation. A touch on effective storytelling for social impact ventures, and also start to talk about financial projections and initial budgeting for your companies. Past participants have consistently rated the boot camps as one of the most valuable components of the UpPrize experience. So would really encourage anyone here that's interested in UpPrize to participate in this boot camp. Many have reported that the boot camp sessions help them refine their value proposition and really strengthen their business model, and really hone in on their target customers. In one example, one of our 2023 finalists, after our boot camp, restructured their revenue model based on insights that they gained during the boot camp, and it ultimately helped them place and secure additional funding, even beyond the UpPrize program.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. And thank you everyone who's been dropping questions in the chat. This is so great. So next question, Joyce, it's what are we looking for in that 60-second video? That is what is recommended for the submission. 60 seconds is a short amount of time. So what do we want companies to prioritize for communicating?
I think over the years, I've found that the 60-second video is an excellent way to introduce yourself. We recognize that it is a short amount of time, but a founder should be able to introduce themselves to someone, give an overview of what their company mission and vision is, and just really give a brief, condensed pitch, right? So think of it almost like an elevator pitch. We recognize that this is not going to be, what judges are going to solely look at, because there is such an extensive application to work through. So I would really think of it as an elevator pitch of you introducing yourself and your product or service.
Wonderful. Thank you. And the next one, Joyce is asking about the possible dates for the pitch day in September. I know we're still looking for that, but perhaps if there's a day of the week that we could say that we lean towards when we schedule those, that would be helpful.
Right. And usually that last year it was held on the weekend, and that will be limited to the 10 semifinalists. So we did have a day set aside on a weekend for those 10 semifinalists that are moving forward. And when we identify the semifinalists in July, they will get a full packet of information about upcoming dates for the boot camps, the advanced boot camps, and trainings and other pertinent information to that stage of the competition.
Fantastic. And now we have someone who's interested in the early stage track, and they're asking if their company launched in 2025 and they incorporated over 1 year ago, are they still eligible for that track?
Yes, they are. And just so everyone recognizes, I'd like to step back a little bit. The application itself lives in F6S and is accessible to all. And there's a lot of information there as far as the questions that are asked within the application that will help give you more guidance as to who's eligible in which track. And please know that you will be self-selecting on which track and under which you would like to compete. But it's not necessarily the length of that your company has been incorporated. It's more so various criteria such as amount of revenue, as team, and so on and so forth. And Erin, I'm sure, can add as well to those two different track differentiations.
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to, and maybe it's helpful to all of the criteria as Joyce mentioned are in our application platform. I can maybe touch on our evaluation framework and sort of what we look for at each stage, which kind of helps the founders decide sort of which track that makes the most sense for them. For early stage track, we really focus on um, the clarity and compelling nature of the problem definition. We look at the overall innovation of the product or service and potential effectiveness of that proposed solution. Very early evidence of feasibility, user engagement, user interest. We look at the team, as Joyce mentioned, early stage tracker. Typically smaller, smaller teams, but we still look at their capability, commitment to execute, how much thought has gone into the preliminary plan for measuring impact, and then also sort of initial hypotheses around sustainability and scalability. For the advanced stage track, we're looking at kind of just general dimensions of social impact and dimensions of the business, but specifically for the advanced stage track, we'll place greater emphasis on early traction and demonstrated proof of concept, that you've validated impact metrics and have early results to date. Have a clear and viable business model. We'll be looking at evidence of sustainability, the growth strategy. What are those milestones for your growth strategy? We're looking at team as well, and then other ecosystem engagement or other partnerships within the community that you've worked with as well. So. Yeah, I think, while both of these tracks have similar dimension, the advanced stage track requires more robust evidence and implementation, where early stage track is earlier, kind of more at the idea stage. It has more like potential and sometimes sort of preliminary validation.
Thank you, Aaron. And then this question, I think, is a piggyback off of that. Maybe you can ease this person's fear. They're worried that they're going to apply in the early stage, but then their company might actually be shifting to more of an advanced stage for where they're at. Is that something you foresee that would happen often, or is it just helpful for the founder to really be selective up front? What would you suggest for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. And Joyce, feel free to chime in here. I think that I would encourage this applicant to take a look at the F6S application, where you can see the specific criteria for each. We've built them so that there's sort of really a clear delineation. While there could be some companies that perceive themselves to be in between, I think that there's a pretty clear delineation of kind of which track this candidate would be suitable for. And we're not evaluating and kind of putting into tracks. Again, that's something that the companies are choosing on their own. So I would encourage them to take a look at those specific qualifications and sort of self-select from there.
Right. And to piggyback on Aaron's response, we really wanted to ensure that we were really clear about who we envisioned in each track, what stage company should be in each track. So the questions really kind of guide you to recognizing, hey, this is the right track for our company and for our application. And as Aaron said, IW and BNY, neither company is involved in any of the judging or evaluation. And the judges also will not be moving you or considering you in another track. So they won't say, oh, they seem more like this stage, we should move them over there. No. So when you apply and select the track that you want to be considered in for, that's where you are. So I agree. I think once you read the questions and work through the application, it becomes pretty clear, where your company would best compete.
Great, thank you. Another applicant, they have a vision here. I can tell from their question. So they just want to know if they share that vision of their plan to grow beyond Southwestern PA. Is that going to hurt or help their application? Should they really focus on their impact of Southwestern PA for this, or can they share that they do have some broader plans?
Well, to be honest, we would hope that all of the solutions hope and dream to aspire beyond Southwestern Pennsylvania, correct? So, but what we want to hear from your application is how initially that your your concept is going to be rooted here in these communities and how you plan to have impact here. Whether, you're speaking about your long-term 5 or 10 year plan or 3 to 5 year plan and hope to expand and go beyond this region, that's fine to, of course, to communicate that. But most importantly, is wanting to hear how you plan to make change here. And also, some of the things that I talk with companies about throughout the process is how you communicate, the partnerships you might have developed in the region, or how you might anticipate working with different organizations in the region. Those are ways in which you can communicate your commitment to these communities, and I think that's what makes for a strong application.
Awesome, thank you. And then are re-applicants encouraged for the process?
So, yes, so as I mentioned, you can apply again, but you can not have received $50,000 or more in funding as a past winner. So, you're welcome to apply again. As if you followed Uprise for some time, may have seen that we have made adjustments and changes, and we innovate on the challenge from year to year. So we encourage folks to, apply again. There might be a different approach. There might be growth in your company that you want to share. So yes, you are definitely welcome to apply.
Wonderful. And this next question is talking about, what's the commitment expected from companies involved after their application is successful? Does it vary based on the company's proposal in a set amount of time? So I think with this choice too, it'd be great to segue a little bit into some of the support services that our semifinalists and our finalists actually receive as a part of Uprise as well, to help this applicant understand what the
Right.
commitment, but also what the benefits are.
Right. And so there is a commitment, and we are very aware that founders are very busy and have packed schedules. So we try to respect that time and have a combination of virtual and in-person events. But we do provide, most importantly, the 10 semifinalists after that are selected after the application process will be pitching in the fall. And that's how we determine the winners are determined for the challenge. So that being said, we provide a pitch training early on, usually in August. So all of the 10 semifinalists are equipped with the know-how and the wherewithal to pitch before judges and before a panel of judges. And then going into the weeks leading up to this final showcase, we have about 4 to 5 different webinars that you can attend. Highly recommended that you attend, that are on various subjects such as media, marketing, and communications. To last year, we had a session on AI and introducing AI into your startup. A lot of these are just sessions are led by both IW's teams and BNY teams. So these are great, like lunch and learns for you to have the opportunity to further your application, your process, and your pitch, as well as think of your company in a more broader sense and how you can improve your company. Um, we also have a BNY pitch practice, which is an excellent opportunity to go through your pitches in September, kind of practice with an audience. And BNY teams provide amazing feedback and support as to, questions they might have, or, as an audience member who's never heard about your product or service, hearing your pitch for the first time and how you present. They are an excellent resource for feedback. All that being said, there is an expectation that you're engaged and involved in sessions, and some sessions are mandatory. Some, we recognize that everyone can't make. We try to either record or provide slides so that you can get caught up, and we always have office hours. So there is that expectation. The 4 winners of the competition of the challenge will also be expected to participate in boot camp activities following winning, and those are really meant to help you now that you've been funded. It's really something exciting to be awarded a large amount of funding. And sometimes companies don't necessarily know what they might want to tackle first. So we would like to assist you and guide you in some way following the announcement of the finalists. So there are expectations. We'll get more specific about what those are. But at the very least, I can say about 4 to 6 hours of your time minimum devoted to pitch practice and pitch training. I mean, the pitch practice itself and the initial pitch training. And then, of course, you have to attend the final showcase.
Perfect, perfect. And then we did have this is from a local nonprofit, so welcome. And they said apologies because they joined a little late, but I think their question is definitely worth
Yeah.
bringing back up, even though we covered a little bit of it before. Joyce, could you talk about, what makes a strong application in general for the challenge? And then to what degree should they really be focused on the impact that their organization has for the region, financial upside of the given business, and or societal impact for our community? So again, shout out, great question. I'll pass it
Great.
to you, Joyce.
Yes, yes to all of the above. We really encourage you, especially and I think a lot of the questions within the application are asking just that, how you plan to have impact in the region, um, wh- what what societal challenge do you plan to address? And what kind of expertise do you bring to that issue? And how you're going to be using technologies and innovation to create solutions. So I think with that kind of three-pronged approach of focusing on the region, thinking about a solution that could solve a challenge, and the use of technologies. I think that's should be first and foremost in your mind as you're developing your application. I'm excited to hear nonprofits are engaged in the conversation and in applying, because this is an excellent opportunity to further a product or service within your organization. Um, and I'm trying to think, Jane, did I hit all the major points as to the question?
Yes, but I'll also remind our guests that we do have office hours. So,
Okay.
this is not your only chance to have your questions answered. There is time to be able to meet with Joyce one-on-one, and we'll drop those links in as we wrap up this discussion today.
Yes, and most definitely. And please know the office hours are your time to, kind of speak specifically about something within your application that you just didn't understand, or more broader questions about details about the competition itself as a whole. But we really do encourage you to join us and sign up for those. And I'm dropping some of those links in the chat right now, or will shortly.
Right. And then I believe this will be our final question, but that by no means is discouraging this audience to keep asking questions. Your questions were fantastic today. Joyce, could you talk a little bit about the types of ventures that have been successful in the past for the UpRise Challenge, just to give a little bit of a flavor of, some past winners?
Oh, yes. And Jane, you have to remind me too, because I feel like we've had so many fantastic winners over the years. I don't want to forget anyone. One that comes to mind, Corian Health. Um, Corian Health really was an exciting company that had developed a stethoscope that would allow folks who might have challenges as far as distance, getting to their medical provider, and being able to check in on a regular basis. They could use the stethoscope that has certain tools and resources that would allow them to communicate with their provider without being in the office. This was actually a product developed right here in universities, and as it went further, it's been recognized through our Alpha Lab Health uh, accelerator, as well as different prizes internationally as well. One of the earlier winners, I'm thinking of precision neuroscience. Precision Neuroscience created a specific probe that allowed folks that needed to have EEGs done in a hospital setting but had coarse hair. The probe will allow the technologist to better stick that device onto their scalp for more accurate readings because coarser hair often couldn't be manipulated to allow for the current EEGs that are used to stick properly. So those patients weren't getting accurate reads. So this is really technology that allowed for folks to get diagnoses that they weren't often getting or had kept them from having traumatic experiences in hospital settings. Jane, who else is exciting that we could think of?
I'll just give two more examples because I saw a fantastic question come through the chat that I am surprised no one has asked before. 412 Food Rescue identifies food waste that's in the region, and they actually are able to connect the food waste to people who are hungry. So they have a fantastic platform that is recovering millions of pounds of food. And then also Honeycomb Credit. They created a crowdfunding platform for benefiting local businesses that need capital, as well as the community members that actually want to invest in what's happening around them locally. So just great, wonderful organizations. So on to the question. If one of the participants knows a judge personally or professionally, would the judge recuse themselves for selection, or would the participant themselves be disqualified from that process?
No, so we would have the judge would recuse themselves. And this has happened in the past. We've always been really pleased that our judges say, I feel I'm too close to this company, or, we recognize Pittsburgh is small. So there is that recognition that people should recuse themselves, and that's never been an issue in the past.
Great. Thank you all so much. These were fantastic questions. You're a fantastic group. I'm going to actually give it over to Courtney for some final closing remarks.
Thanks, Jane. And want to reiterate, so thank you guys for your questions and engagement today. So I want to, as we wrap up, want to express my sincere appreciation for your interest in the 2025 UpPrize Social Innovation Challenge. The challenges facing our region require bold, innovative solutions, and programs like UpPrize play a crucial role in identifying and nurturing the ideas that shape our collective future. So whether you're a nonprofit leader or entrepreneur, a student with a brilliant idea, or someone passionate about creating positive change, I definitely encourage you to apply. So as we mentioned, applications are now opened through June 26th. And then you can visit uprise.org to learn more about the competition, access the application, and we discuss office hours. So if you want personal guidance, you can also access the office hour scheduling there. So for ongoing updates about the challenge, including application tips, success stories, and event announcements, we recommend that you follow us on social media on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're actively posting resources about the competition and other resources in the um, entrepreneur space. So on behalf of BNY and Innovation Works, I want to thank you all for joining, and we look forward to reviewing your innovative ideas and working together to create a lasting positive impact across Southwestern PA. Together, we can build a more equitable, sustainable, and vibrant future for our region. This concludes our webinar. So you'll receive a follow-up email with today's recording, along with additional resources to support your application. Thank you again.